Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar from Veolia Water Technologies. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I know these are difficult and strange times for everyone, and I'm guessing that many of you are connected from your homes. So I just want to wish that everyone that is connected is well and healthy at this stage, and the people around you. So we would like to talk about digital water management in a time of crisis. These are strange times, as I said, and it affects our personal lives and our professional lives. So we thought it would be a good idea to exchange some ideas about how we can adapt and how we can plan ahead for the future. Before we dive into the discussion, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Oscar Casanova. You can see my picture on screen, and I am the Middle East Digital Manager for Veolia Water Technologies. I am based in Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates, but Veolia Water Technologies has a team spread across all of the Middle East in multiple countries. So if you want to discuss anything related to this webinar or other activities of Veolia Water Technologies, you can reach out to us, or you can probably find your local partner also. Just a bit of information about the structure and what we will do. I won't talk too long, I promise. I want to share some thoughts about how I think we could approach this kind of situation that we're in, how to manage your water infrastructure in times of crisis, which is a different way of saying how can you manage your operation when you can't be there, when you can't be physically on site. So some thoughts about that. Then a couple examples of tools that we use at Veolia, just to show you real case examples. And then I will hand it over to you. So throughout this webinar, if you have any questions, any comments that you would like to make, in the GoToWebinar menu, you should see an option for questions. So if you ask your questions through there, my colleague Nizar will capture them, and when I'm done with my slides in about 15 minutes, I will try to address your questions. And once again, if we're not able to discuss something today, or later on you want to discuss further, you can contact us. Many of you have received an email from me or from some of our colleagues. You can reach out and we'll be happy to discuss further. Okay. So digitalization. It's no surprise. Nowadays, we hear a lot about digitalization, and the water treatment industry is not immune to it. Smart water solutions are a tool, are methodologies, are a mindset that help us in our operations, and they help us address the headaches that we have, the challenges that we face when operating our water treatment infrastructure. So on a day-to-day basis, with or without the smart tools, you have to, as an operator, you have to worry about keeping your operational costs down, about trying to minimize your capital expenditure. This means, buying new equipment, replacing equipment, and so on. You have to think about your business, you have to avoid risks, and you have to be compliant. Water is a very sensitive industry. It's a very sensitive matter, so there's regulation, there's control from the government. So it is important, and it's difficult, it's challenging for you to find the right balance between all these different factors. In this context, digital tools are something that can help you. So as I said earlier, it can change the way we think about our water management. Okay. So somebody's microphone is on. So when you think about your remote management tool, there are many tools out there that serve different purposes. But I think that most importantly, what you have to do at the beginning of this process is ask yourself, what do you need? Instead of looking directly at the tool and okay, does this match what I need? First, take a long step to think, how am I managing my operations? How can I improve the way I manage my operations? Where are my risks? Where are my challenges? And then once you've gone through that thought process, you can look for the tool that will that will match your needs. And you can look for the right kind of support to address those needs and those challenges. So, the image in the middle is something that we're going to have to get used to now. An operator on site wearing the gloves and the mask and the PPE. PPE the personal protective equipment has always been very important in our industry. Now it becomes even more critical. So given the challenges, the additional challenges that we face now with the coronavirus, we cannot always go on site. We can have fewer people on site. We facing financial pressure, so we want to reduce the people on site. We want to reduce our operational cost. You have to define your requirements for the tool. So my suggestion here, the ones that I think are most critical. You need a tool to be set away. So set away means that you can access your tool securely at any time from anywhere using any device. So having access to this data in real time means that you know what is going on your plant today. You know what is going on right now. Additionally, it means that if I'm looking at this data, if I'm looking at the live performance of my plant from my computer in my home, and you are looking at your plant, at the same plant from your tablet, from your home, we are looking at the same information. So there is transparency. There is no, you've probably lived the experience of, let me send you the Excel file with the data from last week, and this file is not right, I cannot open it. No, you want simplicity. You want to have access to the right information at the right time and simplify your processes. At the end of the day, if it doesn't make your life easier, it's just a new problem on your list. In the same way, flexibility. You on your plants, you might have multiple plants, you have different technologies from different suppliers. You don't want to be locked in, you don't want to be stuck with one tool that only works with one equipment and a different tool that only works with the pump from the other supplier. You need this flexibility. You need to be, as they say, data agnostic. You need to be able to access all your information from one single point of entry and make your life easier. Now, when you have access to this data, you have access to the right data, and you have access to the data when you need it, you need to be able to take decisions. At the end of the day, data just for the sake of data is not it's nothing. The important thing is what we do with that information. What we do, if I'm at home and I can see I receive an alarm from my plant, so I know that I have to do something about it. So you have to be able to extract the right information from your plant. This means that in addition to looking at what is coming from your instruments, which is the first step, you need to be able to, let's say, combine the information from the different readings, and additionally, understand how that translates into operational and the operational and financial impact that it has for you. So this is where having the right partners is essential. Having access to the experts, to the right expertise, is essential. So here, finding the right partner can help guide you in selecting the tool, in understanding what is the information that you want to have access to on your plant, and then help you, most importantly, on addressing those issues. So once again, getting the information is the beginning of the process, but you want to use that information to improve your operation, to address the problems that you're facing. And lastly, secure. There are many tools out there now more than ever. We are all connected to the internet all the time. This is how this webinar is happening, obviously. It is important that you use tools that are trustworthy. that you know that your information is sensitive. I was saying at the beginning that the water treatment industry is a difficult industry. You've got a lot of financial pressure. You've got a regulatory pressure from the government. So you have to, the information that you have in there is valuable. And when it's valuable, you know that that means it's a risk. So you have to use a tool that is reliable and secure. These are, in my opinion, the main ideas that I think you should use in your decision process when looking for a remote management tool and the remote management process. Because at the end of the day, the tool is the tool. The tool is a tool. The important way is how you, as a human being, use the tool with your partners, with your colleagues, to optimize your operation. Okay. So we spoke about having access to experts. So once again, you know, we are in the coronavirus crisis. We have restrictions to go on site. We have restrictions to go anywhere, really. So you want to be able to share the information with the people who can't come on site, so you avoid interrupting your operation. So on the one side, on the left side, there is you guys. You guys are the ones who are facing these challenges. It's not easy. You have to find the right balance between keeping your operational costs down, between maintaining the performance of your plant, and minimizing operational risk. So you cannot, if you are a manufacturer of a drink manufacturer, so you work in the food and beverage industry, you cannot take any risks with the quality of your water, the quality of the water that you use to produce, to manufacture your drinks. If you are a municipal operator, you cannot take risks with the quality of the effluent of your wastewater treatment process that you discharge into the TSC network or into the environment. So you're trying to find this fine balance between all these moving parts. So when you can have access to the right kind of support, you can make your life a lot easier. So, and here is where we bring everything together. You have your plant operating, your challenges. You use the remote management tool to share the information with your partners, with your experts, and then with the right kind of support, we can work together everybody can work together to address these issues. So this can mean multiple things. There is the finding the right operational level on a day-to-day basis. But then what happens when you have emergencies on site, when you get an alarm, when there's a shutdown? At that time, this kind of setup becomes more important than ever. You know, and if you have to wait to get your permit to go on site, if you have to wait to extract your Excel file from the equipment and send it by email, and you know, that is precious time that you're wasting. Once again, if you've got the right information immediately accessible, everybody is looking at the same information, you have transparency, you are basically making your life a lot easier, and you are minimizing your risks, and therefore you can increase your performance, and you can reduce your operational costs. And if you're not facing an emergency situation, I hope you're not facing too many of those, then if you're thinking on a day-to-day basis, the question is, you know, how can I improve my operation? How can I continue to increase the performance while reducing the operational costs, and you know, and reduce my risk? You know, so how can I improve what I'm doing? So this goes. What I was talking earlier about the questions that you should ask yourself when selecting the tool. Here now it's the questions that we ask ourselves on how to improve the way that we manage our operations. So here we're bringing everything together, the human beings and the digital tools. So I mentioned earlier that I would present a couple examples of tools that exist in Veolia. As you know, in case you don't know, Veolia is a big group. We operate in several industries. We have water treatment systems of big size and small size for all types of industry, all types of applications. So there are many tools that we use for the different type of activity. Here, I wanted to share with you two tools from Veolia Water Technologies that are designed by us for water applications. Okay, so the first one, AQUAVISTA Portal, it is a remote management tool. It is designed to be the single point of entry for your water treatment operation. Okay, when we talk about single point of entry for your water treatment operation, what do I mean by that? So maybe you are, to take the example from earlier, you are a beverage manufacturer and you've got multiple sites across the world, and you need to see in real time what is going on all of them. You need to understand how the plant in Sharjah is doing compared to the performance of the plant in Riyadh, compared to the performance of the plant in South Africa. You need to, maybe you've got a central team addressing the alarms and notifications coming from your plants, so you can react, so you can ensure that the problems are taken care of immediately. So AQUAVISTA Portal, it helps you with this. It is a remote management tool that allows you to aggregate multiple sites. You get real-time information. The different users from your company can all access at the same time and see the same information. You've got a document management tool. You get your alarm notifications. So everything that you need to know about your plant is in here. So you can just open this website, your AQUAVISTA website, and you will see what is going on with your plant right now, with your plants, all your plants. Last comment about the operational and financial KPIs, the key performance indicators. The information that is coming from your plant, that is coming from your instrument on site, that is the starting point. But you are the operations manager, you are the process engineer, you are the plant manager. You want to know how that information coming from my instrument translates into the business impact. You know, how much energy am I using? But I want to know that in Saudi riyals or in dirhams or in Egyptian pounds. I want to know how much chemicals I'm consuming on my plant, and I want to understand why my plant in Cairo is using more chemical than my plant in Ras Al Khaimah. So all this information is information that you can build into AQUAVISTA Portal, and it will help you manage and, most importantly, improve the way you manage your operation. This is a mature tool. We have more than 900 references globally. Which means that right now, they are sending live data to the portal, and the customers can access it in real time. So more than 900 references globally. Next. The other tool I wanted to talk about today is called AQUAVISTA Plant. AQUAVISTA Plant is a real-time automated performance optimization tool for wastewater processes. Okay, so what do we mean when we talk about optimization? What do we mean? You know, we've given a few examples already. Usually when we ask somebody, if you look at the chart on the left, the diagram on the left, what is the first thing, what is your priority? And many customers usually start with savings, energy savings and chemical savings. So that is one of the three legs that we were talking about earlier in terms of risk, compliance, and operational cost. So AQUAVISTA Plant can help you reduce your operational costs in terms of energy consumption, which is usually the biggest expenditure in wastewater processes. It can help you reduce your cost from chemical consumption, the chemicals that you use for the dosage in your plant. But if you're facing, for example, performance issues, your effluent is not meeting the government requirements, or is not good enough for your production process, this tool can help with this too. If you are facing an increase in the load of your wastewater treatment process, it can increase the AQUAVISTA plant can increase the biological capacity and the hydraulic capacity of your plant without requiring additional capex expenditure. So I want to expand on this. What we mean here is, with this tool, you can increase the volume of water that your wastewater treatment plant is treating, and you can increase the load, in other words, the pollution that your wastewater treatment plant is treating, without expanding the capacity of your plant. This, if you compare the value of the price of expanding your plant compared to a digital tool, there's a huge difference, as you can imagine. Lastly, there's a possibility of increasing the energy produced from your biogas system, as well as weather forecasting tools that will be able to help you manage your wastewater treatment plant when there is rain forecast, basically. So during the wet episodes, if you get an increase in your flow, it will affect the performance of your wastewater treatment plant. So this tool can help bring everything together. This is also a mature tool. It has been around for more than 25 years, more than 80 references globally. And between all these references combined, they have accumulated 700 years of operation. You know, if you add up all these 80 plus references globally, they accumulate more than 700 years of operation, in which the software has been giving these energy savings, these chemical savings, this optimization of the performance in terms of water quality, and so on and so forth. And it continues to evolve. So we develop the tool, and the customer gets an update on the system. There are here, I mean, from all these references, I've extracted a couple. The first one refers to a client from a medium-sized municipal plant that wanted to reduce the energy consumption. So they achieved a 20% energy reduction in the biology process. So here you're talking about the reducing your aeration, reducing the energy used for mixing, reducing the energy used for pumping, and so on. The second example is a client who wanted to increase the capacity of the plant without making the additional capacity, the additional capex investment. So without investing in more concrete, basically. So they were able to increase from 0.7, so 700,000 people equivalent, to 1 million people equivalent. And again, just with the use of the software and some small changes on the plant. So the value of this, I think, is very clear. So these are the two tools that I wanted to talk about from the Veolia catalog. There are many others, but I thought that these would be interesting and useful for you guys today. So this is my last slide. I've shared some thoughts on how to approach your water treatment, your water operations. I've shared some thoughts on how to think about selecting the remote management tools, the digital tools that can help you in your operations. Remember that the tool is a tool. The tools are useful, but the important thing is how you use your tool in your operations. And here, your partners, who you partner with, is essential. Who you partner to optimize your operations, to select the tool, and to manage your operations with the tool on a daily basis. So if there's one last thought that I would like you to walk away with today, is this situation that we're facing right now. You know, we are at home and the plant is our plants are still operating. This is an opportunity to rethink how we're doing things, how we are managing our operations, and plan for the future. So how can we, it's not too late for anybody, how can we plan to mitigate the risks in the future and optimize our activities? So thank you very much for your time. I will hand it over to Nizar if there have been any questions. And if not, in any case, thank you for your time once again. If you want to reach out in the future, also, you've got you know how to find us. And Nizar, over to you.
Thank you, Oscar. If you have any question, you can just drop them in the question section in the tool. We'll see if there is any question. It seems, Oscar, your presentation was very efficient. And we have now one question about the cost, Oscar.
So I will have to tell you that it depends. It depends on, well, we've spoken about two tools. They serve different purposes. My recommendation is that you reach out to us separately and you tell us what kind of plant you're talking, what kind of plant you have in mind, what kind of tool you have in mind, and then we can give you a rough estimation and we can discuss further. Thank you, Samir.
Okay. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are going to share with you a recording for this webinar soon. And thank you again.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.